Podcast. We'll be sitting down with a fresh guest each week. Someone who shares the same kayak fishing passion that runs through our veins. We're talking kayak anglers, kayak companies, lure experts. Heck, anyone who's got a story to tell about landing the big ones from a kayak. We're setting our sights on becoming the #1 kayak fishing podcast in the world. You'll get a chuckle, a grin, and hey, maybe even a belly laugh. Because we believe in the power of humor. But above all, we're here to educate and inspire. So, whether you're a seasoned kayak angler or just dipping your toes into this exhilarating world, join us on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. It's time to reel in adventure, camaraderie, and the joy of the catch. Here's your host, Darren Windle.
What's up, you fish freaks? Welcome back to the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast, episode number 134. And tonight is going to be a banger. Debo and I are back from the Berkley special event in Bardstown, Kentucky. And I'm telling you right now, Berkley may just have done it again with the Lab Series. And listen, this isn't hype. This is what Dylan just used to win the Bassmaster Classic, right? So Debo and I, we got pricing, we've got launch dates, and we've got answers to questions a lot of people are asking, like, does this stuff actually work? Is it environmentally friendly? The pricing, all this stuff. We're going to be breaking it down, what we saw, what we learned, and what this actually means for you when it hits the market. So real quick, before we dive in, if you're serious about fishing, specifically kayak fishing, better be serious about getting home safe as well. Head over Kayak Fishing Advanced Safety Training at kfast.co. Sign up for the basic safety certification. It's practical, and between the decals and the partner deals, could literally pay for itself. Because around here, we always say it all the time, prepared beats lucky. Debo, Wyatt, let's freaking go.
Come on.
Come on. Woo.
I'm excited.
So, yeah, I'm excited too. This is wild. So, Debo,
tell some juice.
Yeah, we'll tell you the juice. Well, we want to break the story down a little bit because Debo and I were calling each other before we didn't realize each other were going until we got the email. So, Debo, kind of how in the world did we get invited to this is what the question I'm still asking myself.
I don't know. Yeah, it was I don't even know how to answer it. Yeah, we got lucky. We've got YouTube channels, and we don't work with like any, we're not major sponsored, so we're pretty open as a media outlet. And that's why we were part of the offer. So
yeah. There wasn't that many content creators here. So essentially what it was Berkley, they didn't go to iCast, right? And all the money that they saved on iCast, they're like, hey, we're going to take a little different approach. And it's my understanding that they, instead of spending all this money going to a trade show, they're like, hey, let's bring a lot of media to this area and launch our new products. And luckily we were a part of that. And so I didn't figure that out until I got the email and I was going through the list of people I didn't recognize. I was like, Debo's on there. Sweet. So that was a good time. So we land, this thing's taking place at the Bardstown, was it Bourbon Company? And we get there and this place is like stupid. They got like 10.
Oh, Darren froze. Yeah, super hoity-toity.
Literally like a million.
You're back.
Down. I'm going in and out. All right.
Yep,
I am on
back.
Starlink. I've been having issues with 5G. I think we had a big windstorm like a week ago, and I think something's up with the 5G. So I'm connected to Starlink.
Oh, the timing. Oh, the comedic timing pause. Basically, he's on like 1G now, I think is what he's trying to say. So
He's still rolling dial up over there.
Yeah, cool story, bro. Mom, get off the dial up. I'm on it. I'm on it live.
So anyway. I didn't get to go to this. I saw some pictures and stuff on Facebook and things like that. It looked really cool, like high end brewery and things like that. And they were running y'all through everything.
Yeah, I'm assuming Darren's just gonna hop on his phone. I'll kind of start going through it. But yeah, so we get to this place, super hoity-toity. Like you walk in and they've got gigantic. They're one of the top, I think they said 7 breweries in Kentucky, and I've never been to Kentucky. I maybe drove through it now that I say that, but never stopped anywhere. Dude, there's breweries all over in these big, huge storage things. I don't know what they call them, but the places where they store all the barrels, gigantic. Yeah. And they had like, I don't remember, Darren and I did the math real quick when we were walking, a bajillion gallons of this whiskey aging in barrels. But anyway, we get in there. Thank God for Darren, because talk about feeling out of place. I'm like sitting there and we're talking, and the guy's like, no, I'm head of Hummingbird and president, blah, and this other guy's like, I don't remember, he worked for somewhere. And they get to me and like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm Debo's Fishing. I have a YouTube channel. They're like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. I'm like, oh my God, thank God Darren's here. But yeah, so we do this big tour, and I'll wait for him to talk about the marketing deal that they did to have a doctor take us through this tasting experience. There he is. There's the man. So I was just telling him how I felt out of place, and I'm thank God that you were there, because they go around the table and they're talking about these titles, and I'm like, Darren, I feel a little out of place. He's like, nah, we're good. Let's just have a good time. So it was.
I would have felt really out of place if it wasn't having you there. 1,000%. I didn't know anybody else there. I knew of people like, oh, there's the tactical bassing guys.
I say you were buddied up with the tactical guys. Then I tried to get Darren after he talked to them. I was like, all right, dude, let's go sit down and talk about it. He's like, no, come here. He's like, I'm with you. So then he wouldn't even sit with me. He just sat with the tactical bassing guys and pretended like I wasn't even.
Oh my gosh,
messed up.
Man.
You're froze on my screen going. Oh,
that's the perfect shot right there.
Yeah, there we go. You're back.
I hate my internet.
Yeah, that's junky. Anyway, so go ahead. So I told him about feeling out of place. I told him about Bardstown a little bit. I don't know. I didn't know what all you wanted to go into.
No, it's good. We don't want to finish. That's not why people come here to hear the story. It's kind of like fun to talk about, but the real juice tonight is essentially they allowed the media to post all of our stuff today, because tomorrow they are going all out.
Hog wild, if you will. Yeah. Nope, you're not frozen. You're good. Oh, maybe. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So he just said, "Screw it, I'm out." So anyway, there was one cool thing that we did. We did a tasting or a taste, smell, senses thing to tie in everything with like the new Berkley scent and all that stuff, which we'll get to in a second. But the doctor was blind. Dr. Hobie was his name, doctorate, and I don't remember something, super smart dude. And he starts talking, and I'm kind of like, this is going to be lame. Like to sound like a very judgmental prick. I was like, this is a blind guy. He's probably never fished. Like, this is going to be dumb. And I couldn't have been more of a profiling jerk by saying that, because as he started walking you through it, it was like different smells. And then he was like taking you out through, like, once you sprayed him with water, how the smells changed and stuff. And you're blindfolded the whole time. So I'm sitting at the table with these, like, with the tactical bassing guys on my left, the head of like freaking Hummingbird or some dude, totally out of place. And we're all blindfolded going through this. So it was actually really cool. Dr. Hobie does fish. He's a big saltwater fisherman. Nice. Yeah. So I felt like an absolute jerk. I told Wendell that, and he's like, wow, you are a prick. I was like, yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. So they tied it in because like you're taking these tastes and stuff and tying it in with smell. So it was really neat. Then they're like, okay, now let's go look at the stuff. So Wendell, I'll let you take it from there. That's when we got to go downstairs, and they had the whole array all set up, and this is where we'll have pictures and stuff.
Yeah. So we get to these tables, and they have these cylinder water things. Like, obviously they're going to show off a bait, but what they showed off was kind of wild and crazy. So it's going to be. Let me walk you through some of the media that we got here. All right. Which one? All right. So let's walk through what the first they talked before they even said anything. You guys see what I'm seeing here?
Yep.
So this is essentially the makeup of their new lab series. And so essentially they're taking their max scent, right? And they're layering it with their power bait. And then they're putting this rapid release slime, which is disperses it over time. And if you guys saw on my podcast, on my YouTube channel today, it will release. It won't release obviously indefinitely, but it releases depending on the bait. Anywhere, Debo, wasn't it between 10 minutes and 20 minutes?
10 to 20. Yeah, I think they said the minnows are like 20 minutes. It probably just depends on how big the plastic is, but yeah, like 10, 15 to 20 minutes.
And that is really the thing, right? And so the uniqueness is that it's poured, right? So you're going to have different layers, and they're building on what their 40 years of other things have been successful. When did they come out with all these things?
Oh gosh, Power Bait. I mean, I was throwing that in the 90s. The one big the one big differentiating thing to me that I never understood was the Power Bait is the taste. There's just a tiny bit of smell to it, really, but it's really the taste. Like when they grab it, it tastes, whatever they've calculated, it tastes good to the bass, which I've always had the most confidence in Power Bait, like out of all the scents. Like I'm never big on the sprays and all that. Yeah. Well, then they talked about the max scent, which is this really slow release. So it's a real gradual, kind of release that kind of helps aid the Power Bait. And then you've got this new addition to it, which is essentially this chumming of the water, this fish slime that's like this rapid release. And when he shows you the pictures, it's pretty cool. They dyed it purple. Normally it's going to be completely clear, like you won't be able to see it, but they dyed it purple just so we could see it in the tank. And yeah, it's pretty substantial. And I think Dylan Nutt, the young man who won, using it, super nice kid. Anybody that talks crap about him needs to get slapped because the kid's super nice. But I think he was even saying, like, when he wasn't getting bites, little rage.
Yeah,
like it.
That's what it was, man.
When he wasn't getting bites, he would be using one for a little bit. He'd tear it off and get a new one and automatically start getting bites. Now I don't know if that was all marketing or not, but it's a very interesting twist on scents and stuff. Because a lot of the scents, if they're not water soluble, they're not doing anything. Like if they're just an oil-based dip, doesn't mix with water. It's not actually dissolving into the water, so it's just
there.
Yeah, it's just extra. So
we watched last week's podcast.
All right, with Science of the Strike. Those guys are freaking awesome. So this right here and how fast that is dispersing off of this bait, it's literally, this is a live photo that I just started like bouncing back and forth. And so it is dissolving fairly quickly. And then if you watch some of the other videos, like at the end of 20 minutes, it was slowly coming off, but it was all kind of at the bottom. And so this is on their minnow. They have 3 different types here. Let's see what else they got here. Oh, then the slime. I could barely pick the thing up. It was so slimy. See if I can go find this. I think it's this one.
John Mango, it lasts about 20 minutes. The slimy, chummy stuff that comes off it, about 20 minutes is all it'll last. Yeah. Right now, they said they. You're probably going to say the same thing. Go ahead.
So, well, yeah, because this is their finesse worm. That's only going to last, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think they said 10 to 15 on the smaller ones.
Yep. And so the minnow is going to be the 20 minutes, which when we get to prices here in a little bit, you're going to be like, oh, man, that could add up fairly quickly. I think it's important to know, even though when the slime and all the scent obviously is gone, it's not fully soluble, right? You're still going to have a great Berkley bait.
You've just essentially got a power bait max scent bait then, which is still better than, 8 out of other 10 things with nothing, no scent on it at all. So
yeah. So what's your initial thoughts, Debo? We're sitting in the room, they break this thing out, and also you, Wyatt, seeing it for the first time. Like,
I was gonna say, go to Wyatt.
What are all the thoughts?
Go to Wyatt. What does Wyatt think?
Yeah, Wyatt.
I mean, I'm a huge max scent lover from the day that it came out. I wasn't big on power bait before, but I mean, just the water solubility of the max scent smell. I feel like the fish hold on it and fish chase it, and especially whenever you're seeing fish like stare at a bait, I feel like, I don't know, that smell helps them decide to eat it. And then this right here, as long as they give me a creature bait I can put on the back of a jig or something like that, or punch or something, either that or a Senko I can wacky rig, I'm super excited for it. I don't know about this 20 minutes is interesting. I mean, I know it's still going to have some accent, but I'm interested because I fish in the rain and stuff like that a lot. So I'm going to see what all happens if I get some water in the bag.
Yeah,
that was the elephant in the room. That was the elephant in the room, because the price, I don't know, Darren, if you've shared any of them.
Kind of holding off on the price a little bit.
I mean, I'm like max.
They're not free.
How many of these things? So I do the.
Tell you that.
What have I got? I got those creature hogs I fish with. They're like $10 now for 8 of them. But I mean, I super glue them on the back of a jig, and they last for hours and hours and hours. And I mean, even with the even with the big like Magnum hit worms, like they're on a shaky head, I just keep biting them down until they're like four, like this. They're 7 inches long, and I bite them down until they're like 4 inches long before I get a new one. So I mean, they last forever.
Yeah. So a couple questions out here. Does the slime stuff wear off after using it for hours? John Mango. Yeah. 10, 15 minutes. If you're just popping in right here. And here's the thing, like this wasn't even supposed to be launched. The fact that we're having this conversation right now, I don't know if Debo talked about it when I was having issues, but like this wasn't supposed to happen until June 1st, right? The only reason we're talking about this bait right now, right, is because Dylan won it on won the world championship using this bait. And so Berkley's like, oh crap, we should probably take advantage of this opportunity and bring this to market sooner. Because we were actually, and I didn't even know this was even a word in marketing, but we were embargoed until June 1st. And so Debo and I were like, oh, okay. So we can't talk, we can learn about it, but we can't. The only thing we could really say, we couldn't say anything. There's probably 50 people there from the media. You got Wired to Fish, you got, Outdoor Life, you got, there's 50 or 60 people in the room who all write in some type of media, like, do not talk about it until June 1st.
They had black Escalades out there for anybody that discussed that they were black Escalades that were showing up at your house.
So I'm thinking, oh, sweet. So there's only like a handful of content creators. And as a content creator, like people who watch us, I can't just go, ChatGPT and write up an article and then it be ready the next day. Like I need to get my hands on this bait. I need to fish with the bait. I need to find the nuance of it. And so I can answer questions with a little bit more authority. And like, that was like last week. Like it was right before the Bassmaster Classic. And they're like, hey, actually we're going to launch this on Tuesday / you guys can launch all your stuff on Monday, which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't have that bait in hand. And so it was a little bit frustrating. I was hoping to have the bait in hand, have some videos actually using on the water, but here we are talking about it because it is going live.
They didn't give you any?
What?
I got a package of each.
You got a pack? How'd you get a package of each?
I was about to say that the SUVs are pulling up in front of his house now.
Wait a minute. Oh no. They didn't give them to me. I just said I got a package of each. They didn't know I got them.
Yeah, I guess you could have walked out with a few. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe they're looking at your pockets on the way out.
SUVs. Yeah, they had to frisk search us all when we left.
Yeah. So here we are. It's been fun. Today's been interesting. There's been a few people. I saw the Wired Fish article. I think I saw an Outdoor Life article. I posted like a fiend today. Because I know tomorrow, once they actually get their press release out, it's just going to start going a little wild and crazy. But a couple other questions coming in. Well, Wyatt, it looks like you have something to say. What's your?
I know the cool thing was like Berkley's. It sounds like they're rushing at the market, but Berkley has put millions and millions and millions of dollars behind all of this stuff. I mean, if anybody does any research on how much research Berkley themselves do on just all of this stuff, just how much I'll say the scent, how much scent affects the bass, like the shape of the lures affect the bass. Like they have entire research labs set up to studying exactly what makes a bass bite a lure. So it's not anything rushed. So I'll say, even though they say that they're kind of bumping it up from June to now, like it's still a fully finished product. Without having hands on it yet, I believe it's still fully finished.
No, 100%. I think it's probably they still don't have as many baits as they would like to, right? And so probably what you're going to get is a lot of people buying them out, and you probably see them on the secondary market for twice as much as they'll be selling them for. But we'll see what happens. Because I think that's one of the questions I've been getting a lot. There's a lot of hate on Berkley. I'm not entirely sure why. I guess when you're the gorilla in the room, and I think on Facebook alone, I think I got 1 million followers. Really? When you get that big, you're just going to have haters just because you're the Walmart of fishing, right? No. And so everyone takes shots at you.
Yeah,
and so
pure fishing umbrella.
Yeah, 100%. And so, you might see the question, like, is this actually revolutionary? Or is it just really good marketing? It's both, right? And like you said, Wyatt, Berkley has a dedicated fish science and bait testing team. And on that team, you have biologists, you have engineers, and you have chemists. Right. This isn't we're just ripping out baits left and right. And so their lab runs large scale controlled experiments with thousands of fish and multiple testing systems. It's actually one of the only of its kind that I know of, a company who actually does that. And this lab series is actually built on 40 years of science like scent development, right, from their own science team. And so when I say science, this is what we're like leaning into, like 40 years.
Like
of
it's
chemistry and
actual
biology.
research papers.
Yeah, it's not just a lure company, right? They're the only one of the only full-time science departments dedicated to actually how fish actually behave.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's
wild.
how they market it. Like some of the marketing things they've had in the past are kind of corny, like where they have the scientists in that, like, yes, they have that, but from a fishing standpoint, some of them come off as pretty corny to me anyway. Yeah. It was like when NetBait released their gel stuff, their clear gel. They had like these scientists in coats that had folds in them that you could tell that they just undid some lab coats and threw them on. It's like, okay, this is corny as hell. So Berkley gets some of that. So I understand some of the hate, some of it's self-inflicted, but yeah, they really do. Like when they were talking up there, they had, I forget how many chemists, like they were showing the insides and they weren't wearing lab coats. They were just, normal dress people. But yeah, I mean, they've got a big, huge tank. Like I forget how big the tank is. I want to try to get over to the their facility, which is in Spirit Lake. So it's like 3.5 hours northwest of me, but they still manufacture, I think, all their lines there. He talked about some lures and some other stuff. I thought they were just warehouse. I didn't know they still did all that up at Spirit Lake. But
I was not a fan either.
Yeah, so
I wasn't aware either.
They still do all that. Plus, they've got a gigantic tank in there that's like, I don't remember how many gallons where they can see this stuff working and with actual fish and stuff. So it was interesting. But yeah, some of the marketing's corny. But
yeah. I think the coolest thing they had is they have a big circle tank, and they have a robotic arm that'll run a lure around inside of it, and they swap out bass, and they'll put bass in there, and they'll put a brand new lure in, and they'll run it in front of the bass and see how many times they bite it, and then they'll pull them out for the day, put them back in the next day, and they'll run the same lure around and see how many bass bite it, and then they keep doing that just to see like what shape and what style lure the fish react to the best. So like if the first day all 10 fish bite it, and the second day 9 fish bite it, and the second day another 9 fish bite it, that's a good lure. And then like the next day they'll run a different kind of lure in there, and like the first day 10 fish bite it, the second day like 5 fish bite it, and the third day 1 fish bites it. That's a bad lure. And they sit there and just like tinker with that kind of stuff every day, like switching fish into the tank, putting fish out of the tank, and running lures around. Is
this a video that you've seen? Because I heard they're like uber hush hush, like they won't even allow like video or cameras inside of their facility. Where'd you see this or hear?
That's one of the research that they had. One of the research principles that they had designed in Gulp is they released it, and they said they were trying to design the perfect lure. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. They were trying to design the perfect shaped lure. And they said they kept doing this experiment. They kept doing this experiment. Eventually, the lure they ended up with looked like a gulp shrimp. And they were trying to put it to the marketing thing, and they were like, no one's going to buy this because it looks dumb. And they just kind of rolled those designs into some of the lures at the time.
Well, that's the thing too with the I do want to call out Dirty Dersh. Dersh, thanks for the $20 bomb, brother. Love you.
That's awesome.
What were we talking about? Oh, the older gentleman, I forget his name. I didn't write down names. I'm bad at that. But he was talking about they've had the gel slime coat stuff for a while, and they didn't know exactly how they wanted to incorporate it and like use it on some of the stuff. But he said he'd been using it for a while, and he's like, dude, this stuff is so good.
Legit. Yeah.
So he was like keeping the juice. And that's another thing that I think is interesting, that people are hating on like I try to take a middle, of the road on it. Like I like Berkley, but it's not like I only use Berkley. I use other stuff too. I'm sure. Like y'all. But when people start crapping out, they're like, oh, scent doesn't matter. But then you've got these pros taking Taku's bite powder and the new bite gel and soaking it in these Tupperwares for 20 days, and then putting the powder on it. Like, yeah, bull crap, you telling me that you don't think scent matters when we've got a bunch of guys doing this. And essentially that's kind of what the new line of plastics is from Berkley. So
yeah. I mean, we just had Science of the Strike on last week, and they did a really fantastic job of taking a scientific view and basically breaking apart these studies and then bringing them to us. And I guess I used to be a guy who was like, does scent really matter? I didn't really pay too much attention to it. But after the last 3 weeks, it's like, you know what? I really need to start paying more attention to this because I think it matters more than I've ever given it credit for.
Especially
I agree
today. Yeah.
especially when they started talking about fish's nose compared to us underwater. They can smell essentially what would be the equal of a dog smelling in air is about the same distance and type of smelling that fish have underwater versus other fish. Now there's different fish like sharks that can sense blood from a bajillion miles away or, whatever. But he said for most like freshwater fish, yeah, it's about equal to that of a dog. And it's like, damn, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you think what dogs can smell and sniff out,
right?
Maybe there is more to it. Because I've always kind of been that way too, Darren. I've always been like, like if it has scent, great, but I'm not going to go out of my way to like add it,
Yeah, I was to the point where I was like, okay, in cold water, when they come up and like nose it, yes, that's where I was kind of believer, right? But when they come up and just smash it, I was like, oh, does scent really have anything to do with that? And maybe my misunderstanding of how bass and their ability to pull that scent from really, really, really far away. I think it's just a world that I wasn't aware of. I am a believer now, to be completely honest with you.
Yep. See, I take it as like those fish that are smashing it, you're going to catch those anyway. But those fish that that could make the difference. I mean, if this gets me one extra bite a day, I'm here for it. Like if it gets me one extra fish a day, I am here for scent.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Let's go over here to the comment section real fast because I think there's some interesting comments that might lead to a little bit more discussion here. All right, let's head back up here. Here's a question from Mikey M. Kayak Fishing. So is that a dye or will be leaching this purple stuff into the water? Great question. That was just an illustration. They dyed the slime purple so we would be able to see, but you will not be able to see that in the water. So that's what that is. Also, a question that we received, and it was a question that was asked to the panel of designers, is this stuff like toxic? Because I was getting a lot of comments. Oh, great, we're just putting more and more chemicals into the water. And so when that was asked by one of the media, they essentially said, no, like and essentially the spirit of the conversation is we love fisheries. We love fish. We make a living off of fish. If we started putting chemicals in the water, and they didn't say this, but I'm just thinking in my mind, we just start putting toxic chemicals in the water and kill our bass fisheries, we're out of business. Right? Now they made mention that obviously the PVC is not biodegradable, but they also were like, hey, you kind of like tickled the idea of we're actually working on something like PVC that if you do lose it, and they're like, do not throw these baits in the water afterwards. They said that like multiple times, but they may be working on some technologies that replace the PVC, right? And so this could be interesting. Be really interesting. Any other thoughts on that? Anybody want to take a?
No, they did bring that up multiple times to not throw your used plastics in the water. I'm like, who does that? Does there people that really just rip off their stuff and throw them in there? But yeah, they were transparent about it. They're like, yeah, the baits still aren't 100%. That's something we're working on. So
that must be a thing. I don't know. In the comment section, let us know. Do you know people? Or did you think at one point that it was okay just to throw your used plastics because maybe they thought it was biodegradable? I'm curious as well because, like you said, Debo, he said it multiple times. It's like, okay, you must know something that we don't know. So I don't know. Got a comment in here from John. Yeah, the water in the bag sounds like an absolute disaster. So this could be an issue, right? If it's slime, if it gets remotely wet, and you have these things lined up in a waterproof box, which I did a test recently. A lot of them that claim to be waterproof aren't waterproof. This a little bit of moisture is going to, it's going to make a mess real fast.
Keep them zipped up.
I don't know. Yeah. So we will have to kind of wait and see on that. And they're not cheap. I guess we're going to reveal the price. So Debo, this is obviously something I'm going to let you take this because you're like, ooh, soft plastics, huh? This is getting up there.
That was my biggest thing of being somebody that tries to be more on a budget. They're $14.99 for each one of the packs. Now I think for the worms, it won't be as big of a deal. It'd be $1.40 essentially for a worm because I think you get those in 10 packs. Mm-hmm. But some of the minnows are like what, $5 for the big ones, $6 for the smaller ones. So $3 a pop. I mean, that's pricey, but I think it's going to be reserved for those times where you think you need it, right? If they're sight feeding and they're just reacting, like the day we were just out, me and my buddy Chris, Saturday, and I think they would have ate a bunch of hooks just tied to the line running through the water. They were just destroying stuff. But those times where it's super, finicky, or if you're a tournament guy, you need a couple extra bites, or if you're on a lake that just gets hammered, that's kind of where I would save them for. But again, going back to everything being rolled into one, people are doing all these crazy concoctions, spending extra money on stuff. So it's like you've already got it there. So I don't know. I see both sides. They're definitely not free, but
Wyatt, you're a tournament angler. What if these work like they say they work, right? And we've seen some of the proof already in the pudding. Obviously, we're taking a lot of that panel's word for it. They've been using it. They say it works. And obviously, we got one of the biggest wins in bass fishing this past week, saying that it works and proving that it works. Not just like he won by a little bit. Like homie put on a straight up clinic. Like he's like, I'm going to put my foot on your neck, everybody else, and I'm not going to let go, and I'm going to win. He win by like 10 pounds.
Yeah, 10 pounds over.
Yeah, 10 pounds over second place. Like. In that elite series, 10 pounds is my gosh.
Yeah.
So no, granted, do all the work. Homie's good at what he does. I'm not trying to take that away from him, but it definitely performed on one of the highest stages. So Wyatt, if this works like it says it works, and what you're hearing, how much would you pay as a tournament angler?
I mean, I was expecting to hear $19.99 for the back.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, $14.99 is not terrible. And like I say, we got a comment right there. I say Berkley is pretty much consistently on sale. Like even on their website, they like to run 33% off and stuff like that. Like they think they were running it as of last week. They were running 33% off. Like you can find it on sale. And I'd say I'm gonna live with, if it gets me one extra bite during a tournament, I'm gonna use it. If I feel like it justified, like it will make the difference, especially, like I was fishing Lake Murray yesterday when watching going behind 25 other boats where we're all bed fishing and stuff like that. If that's what it takes to get that fish to react after, it's seen lure after lure after lure after lure all day, then I'm gonna pay the money for it.
Yeah. No, it's just fascinating. Would you be someone who's like, okay, you hit the timer, you start throwing it, 20 minutes is up.
Tear it off.
One. You take this off?
No, I'd say I use them until they fall apart.
All right.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not like they're wasted afterwards. You've still got a power bait max scent worm. It's like still just as good as. So it's not like the slime runs off and it's their rendered inert.
You gotta throw away
to it.
The trash can. Yeah. No, I think it's important to know. This is a question that was actually asked in that forum to that panel that where Debo was sitting there, like, hey, is this slime going to be available for like reapplication? And the answer, everyone
there's
hopes
something behind it.
Yes,
there's something behind that for sure. The way they answered.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about money, right? And so if you can just put the slime on any bait, then anybody and their mom can then make their competitor's bait perform like a Berkley bait, or whatever. Right? Yeah, so I can see where this, as a business decision, that'd be a terrible decision. But maybe
they definitely mold it though. They definitely mold that around, because when the question was asked, it was like everybody looked at each other like, as of now, no.
Yeah, which tells me there's been long discussions on the pros and cons of, do we sell it as a glaze, right, or some type of curing type thing, which I think would be absolutely fascinating. And it's basically, I would imagine, where can we make the most money? I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and they have a lot of money put into this type of stuff. It's, I would imagine that chemists and biologists and all these people are not expensive to employ. But anyways, the answer is no for now, if you're wondering.
Yeah,
and there's only 3 baits right now.
3 baits, 2 sizes in the minnow. But the cool thing is they're all open pour, and I don't know if they're open pour machine assist, or if they're all actual hand pour. I would assume they'd have to be machine assist.
Yeah.
But they said all open pour, and with the open pour technology they use, they can now have translucent colors in power bait, which was something they couldn't have before because the plastisol makeup or whatever they use makeup. There was one other thing I was going to say. Colors and layers, because it is open pour. They can do layers, which they couldn't do very easily with even doing like dual colors. They couldn't do with the power bait stuff because of the mix. So
yeah. I'm interested to see what happens once like the north fully starts icing out, because smallmouth are the ones that are super attracted to scent and everything. So
right. And if you use it in moving water, my gosh, that scent could go 30, 40, 50 yards and they could potentially pick on, but who knows? I don't
I
know.
was trying to find. Do you have pictures of them all?
We do. We're getting there in a little bit. I'm working through some of the comments here, and I just saw a comment over here. What are the three shapes? We're going to get into the shapes and all the color waves here in just a moment. But I love taking some comments over here from the comment section. We'll get that in just a moment. Here's an interesting comment from TGC1775. Literally stuffing gel and etc. in a bait has been a thing for years. I want an elastic bait that you can refill easily. A
lot of them you can do that.
Yeah, and I saw some comments today that, hey, like Q8, I guess, is another company that has something similar to this that came out years ago, and so, and I was asking Debo in the green room, it's like, is there anything that Berkley's going to come out with that someone's not going to be like, hey, that looks like, or someone's done this before? Like, how possible is that now? And with all these bigger companies, medium-sized companies, and these garage makers that get really creative with their designs, is everything moving forward going to look like or feel like a straight-up copy?
I mean, I think your answer is right there with the quickie ball. Like, there's new stuff coming out all the time, and when it works, it takes off. But a lot of the times, it disappears, and then years later, somebody will make something, and you'd be like, I feel like I saw that years and years ago. I saw somebody make something like that. But I mean, so you've got evidence right there with the quickie ball stuff that new designs and everything are coming out.
Well, even the whole minnow shaking. I mean, people were Demiki rigging and doing strolling stuff for a long, long time before all this took off. And then, you just needed the perfect storm of forward facing plus this. And it's just 8 billion minnows on the market now.
Forward facing is going to be interesting because I was actually talking to Chad Hoover. This is his thought. I was like, oh, that's fascinating because they're coming out with 360 live. And eventually forward facing sonar is going to be give it years. People won't even be using FFS anymore. It's going to be 360 live. And so that's going to be wild and crazy when Lowrance rocks that out here in just a little bit. So I don't know. This bass fishing is moving fast and furious, and it's fun to keep up with. We got some comments over here. John Mango, MaxScent is basically the only thing I use from Berkley. You got Adam Ward 4556. Berkley Gulp is the only thing I use for pan fishing. I don't even bother with live anymore. Wow, that's a testament. My goodness. You got William, the amazing Bill Dance said the scent is the strongest scents in a bag bass. Man. Oh wow. I haven't been paying attention to comments. There's 81 comments over here. Have you seen anything over there, Wyatt, that we should talk about before we hop over into some of the colorways and the three baits that they got rocking out?
I'll say nothing too crazy. I mean, it's a lot of max scent believers and things like that.
Yeah, you got fishing with Gramps.
Yeah,
hope it's more like power bait versus max scent. Hated the action of the new chicker crawl. And this is was another question, right? And you'll probably be asking this in just
it's layers, so
right, it's layers. But the question is, okay, we're going to see 3 that they're launching with. Is there going to be any more? Yes, there's going to be a long line of baits because, I would love to see some type of crawl with this scent kind of emulated from it. I know Wyatt, you're probably like, oh man, I'd love to get a jig trailer that I could throw with this on it. All right. So a lot of comments. So if you want to get my attention, if you have a question, you got to type question really, really big. So all of these questions kind of meld together and all these comments meld together.
Yeah, all right, let's head over here. Front, like you normally do on mine.
Yeah,
questioning caps.
Big old caps question on the front. Yep. All righty. So let's head over here. Let's walk through. Let's take a look at the finesse worm. Is that showing?
Oh, that's trippy.
Yep,
showing.
Wow. That's weird. Did I disappear?
Over you, though.
My place?
Yeah,
here.
I'm gone. It's all right. You don't need to see my
later,
face.
nerd.
You've seen a lot of my face. All right, first up, Berkley Lab Series Finesse Worm. It's going to come in a variety of different colors. So for those of you listening in and you can't see what we're seeing, I'm going to call those out. So you got bold bluegill, which is going to be a layered. It looks like it's really small on my screen. Is that correct, Debo?
Yeah, it's layered. Yeah, they're all layers. Layered.
Yeah, morning dawn, red flake. You got payload, which is like a green. I can't really make out the bottom color. Prism shad, which I think was what you're referencing. It's more of that translucent color on the top.
That's the ones we had on the plate, I think.
Oh, is it? Is that what that is?
I remember right. Yeah.
Awesome. Sunset, which is like
Or
a
violet
reddish
morning dawn.
orange. Ember Jelly Fusion, like a purple. Oxblood Red Flake, Platinum Shad, Spectrum, and Violet Morning Dawn. So these are all going to be 6-inch, and there's going to be 10 to a pack. And Berkley right now is just going to be offering 10 different colors. Now, let me back this out because I actually got these swimming. I got some videos.
See, I think that's where the money's going to be. Those and the other worms are going to show. I think that's really for me anyway.
All right, let me find it. So, unfortunately, I don't have like a video of
durability. Adam asked. I would say they're average. Probably 2-3 fish. I mean, I felt the plastic and it felt pretty normal. I mean, it was soft, but it wasn't like Senko soft. So,
but it's hard to pick up once they get wet. My goodness, they are uber slimy. All right, I have got the footage. Got it. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at this finesse worm. And you guys can talk over it. What's your thoughts?
It's a finesse worm.
Yeah.
Like I wish they had it died. I mean, that's what I wish. And so you can kind of see the how the moves through the water is kind of durability is also going to be kind of pulled out from that.
No, it looks more buoyant than regular, like Max Scent or the power bait.
There you go.
Which looks going to be interesting.
I don't remember them saying that. I think the big one was the minnow when you get to that, because that did have a different buoyancy piece to it that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Kayak Jack's like, hey, that'll be killer on the Nico. Kayak Jack's like, everything is going to be killer on the Nico. I love it. And speaking of Kayak Jack, this is like a special edition for the kind of a mashup between Debo's Fishing and the KFO show. But I'm going to have Kayak Jack tomorrow night on the KFO show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern as well. Homie's picked up over 2,300 fish last year. Like, he tracks every single one. If you know him, he like tracks them all. 2,300. And so we're going to be breaking down how he actually puts that many bass in the kayak. That's insane. So good work there. Let's take a look at some of the other ones they have. So we looked at the finesse worm. Now let's look at the flat worm. Here we go. So these are going to be 3.6 inches long. It's going to be 10 to a pack. Only 9 colors. So you're going to have jelly fusion, just like the finesse worm. Obsidian black, which I don't believe they had in finesse worm. Platinum shad, which they did. Tactical. The wakasagi, the bottom. Violet morning dawn. You said yes on the wakasagi.
Yeah, the wakasagi's badass. The Highland shad was badass, and so was the Ember jelly fusion. Those three were like,
there we go.
Money.
And then prism shad, oxblood, and then Highland shad. And then so yeah, these are let me break these down for you. It takes me a minute to toggle back and forth. So let me go find the video footage on this.
Got a Cayuga tournament in June, so if y'all get a hand on any of those before that and want to send them my way.
All right, here we go. No, I'm trying to get hands on them myself.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll even have them before June.
Yep.
We'll have to wait till they're released and just hurry up and buy them.
Yeah, they were like writing like, "What's the feedback?" It's like I need them in my hands. That's the feedback that I have now. I imagine now everyone, their mom needs them in their hands, so it might be a little bit difficult, but that's what they would look like on the drop shot. So looking pretty good there. Any thoughts there?
They're flatworms.
Yep.
Are you a big drop shot? You're not a drop shot fisherman, Debo, are you?
Not one bit. No.
Not at all.
I think I'd rather have somebody pull my teeth out and shove nails in my eyes than have to drop shot.
I do remember this. Wyatt, do you do it at all?
Yeah. I power shot in rivers and stuff like that, and I did it a good bit last year whenever I went to Champlain. Yep.
Okay.
Here for it.
I will say my stance has changed on it since fishing from a kayak. It's far more enjoyable fishing from a kayak because you can get it unsnagged versus the bank where you get it snagged and you're tying leaders and then you're doing this. Oh, jeez.
This is funny. I've had Debo on the show on the KFO show. I don't know, over the last couple of years. And I remember when Debo was like, I love my John boat. I'll never get in a kayak. And then after a year later, he's like, I like my kayak. And he's like, I really like my kayak. Then he flips his kayak. He's like, I don't know about the kayak.
Never flipped my John boat. Just saying.
You flipped a John boat?
No, I said I've never flipped my John boat.
My gosh, what happened?
No.
You go over a dam or something?
No. I did actually almost do that once. I was on the thing and I leaned down and accidentally slipped and hit the motor, and I was going.
Oh wow!
So, almost.
They had a John boat at the Bassmaster Classic that went over a dam. That was that one that was all beat up. Did you see that at all?
What?
For real? They had a John boat. I think they actually like sent it over a dam to show you what would happen. And then they put it in the booth, and it was all mangled because like it got caught in the churn or whatever. I don't know.
In the undertow or whatever they call that, dude, that would be awful.
It would be awful. All right. And now let's head over to the
minnow.
The girl of the hour, the minnow. All right, so this is going to come in two different sizes, 5.25 inches and 6.5 inches. And the 5.25, you're going to get 6 of these in a pack, and there's 10 colors. And the 6.5, you're only going to get 5 in a pack. So you got the acid shad, gizzard shad, limestone, platinum shad color, threadfin, electric, highland, phantom herring. Yeah, that's that nice little red line down the side there. The silver shiner and the wakasagi as well. So let's go ahead and try to get some footage up for you guys of this thing swimming. So women.
Gizzard shad in this one looked sick.
All right.
That phantom herring. Nope.
Oh, you need to take your picture off.
So there we go. Now let's get this thing swimming. There we go. Now, I've never been someone to be. I've actually really never got around to like strolling minnows before, but man, that looks juicy. I need to get more into it. Debo, yes. Do you use FFS? Do you use minnows to?
Oh yeah, bud. I'm scoping, and no, I don't even have. I just got a forward-facing Eagle Eye.
You got the Eagle Eye 9?
Use it for open water. Yeah, I used it for ice fishing. It was awesome as hell for ice fishing. It was sweet, but no, I haven't even got it hooked up or anything to use it for the kayak. But I think the big thing to point out with the minnow on this one that was interesting is it's got the a noose hole that goes up through it, and it's like an air chamber. So it's got like a little beehole air chamber deal. And that's to keep air in it. So when you're mannering it side to side, it helps keep it horizontal in the water column. So I thought that was interesting to see how much that'll make a difference. Otherwise, if you don't really care about that, you could always pack that with scent too. So you could even scent charge it up even more. I'm like, well, do you have any more of that slime coat that we could stick in there? Because you told us that was the best scent. We're like, well, we don't sell that. So I'm like, thus the conundrum here. What are you telling me? You know? So
I love it. Comments over here. You got hawk fishing, shaking the minnow. Give me that minnow over here from Chris. Everyone wants this thing. Fishing with Gramps said, hey, that is insane action. And for someone who shakes a minnow, I'm going to take your word for it. I have like the budget FFS as well. So I have the Eagle Eye 9, and it's one of those things that I don't like. I'm just starting to kind of use it, but it's interesting. I was like, for the first time I was like, oh, wow, there's my lure. Oh, and there's fish. And I'm like, tell my buddy, like 30 feet over there. There's one there. There's something there. I don't know if it's a bass. And so I'm like in that stage. So I really want to get off the budget FFS and really get into like an actual unit. And by the time I get into the actual unit, the 360 Live is going to come out. So I'm always feel like I'm going to be behind the curve when it comes
to rear facing sonar, not the forward stuff. Nobody's using that anymore.
Gosh.
Oh, if you forward face, you're a loser. Rear facing is the way to go.
A question over from Ruben, aka Cooler Lid. And we answered this a little bit earlier, but people jump in now. We have 187 live right now. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. Give a little juice after this is all said and done. And if you have never reviewed the podcast, I'd love for you to take a moment to do that as well. We did not get free samples, and I would imagine that they're going to be even more difficult to get a hold of now, because I think they're going to like, hey, we got people actually wanting to buy these. We weren't planning. They weren't even, for those of you just coming to the show earlier in the show, probably like 40 minutes ago, like this wasn't even supposed to be and go live until June 1st. And so they're in like uber production mode. So there's going to be a limited run. I imagine they're going to be very difficult to get your hands on. And so if you see some, you're probably going to want to stock up on them because they're probably not going to be available because they weren't planning on to be wildly available. But they will be available. I knocked this down. We haven't answered this question yet. May 5th. So I believe if you go wherever it is that you buy them, they're going to be available May 5th. And so if you want to be one of the first to get your hands on them and get an order in, you're probably going to have to be on it on May 5th, right? I imagine they're going to be selling out because there's going to be a limited run and they can't like mass produce these like they do other baits because of their pouring. So these are small. They actually market it as small batch. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Let's see what other questions we have over here. Have you seen anything over here? We got Dirty Dersh says flatworm, Berkley still money. What are you guys laughing at? Am I missing something?
I'm catching up. I was reading William's comment saying the Berkley helicopter lure is going to be coming out soon.
Oh, boom. Look, that scent trail on that thing's going to be
brand
sick.
new, yeah.
I made a video on the helicopter lure. You ever fish that thing?
My grandpa bought them way back in the day. They're dumb as hell.
Yeah. First cast.
You caught something?
I caught multiple fish on that stupid thing. It was crazy. I didn't do it. You can like top water, you can rip it. Wyatt, have you ever fished one of those crazy things?
Yeah.
I got a video.
I got the pack of them years and years ago.
It was fun to catch. I mean, they're a pain they're a pain, right? But it was just fun to catch one. It's like I've heard about it so long. It's like I need to go out there and catch one of these bass and these stupid things. It was fun. All right. Just Greg's like, hey, I look forward to finding them on clearance because after they sit on the shelf at the box stores for a month, turnip guy, sure, fishing enthusiast, yeah, but the average Joe isn't buying these for $15.
That was my take too.
$15. Let me know in the comment section if you are a yes. I will try them. I will buy them. And if they work, I will continue to buy them at $15. Because what other soft plastics outside of your like soft swim baits, like your finesse worms, your flat worms, and your minnows, are up in that $15 range? I feel like it's kind of stopped at $10 on the soft plastic world. Let me know in the comments. Are you in for this? I'm curious. You got the munchie. Those things are like what? They're $15 each, but that's like a bigger swim bait. That's not a pack of finesse worms. I'm just curious. Or what would you need to see?
I mean, weren't the how much for the what was the
what are people famed for?
The drift fry. The drift fry.
Say what now?
Yeah, the drift fry.
Those are like $14 a pack, and
look at Sakamata shads. People are paying stupid money for those resell. Yeah, the koike, $20, 22, what, $23 now. Some places are selling for $35s retail for one. Now, granted, it's a TPE like stretchy stuff, but still, like one snag and bye.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments over here. My gosh. Yep. All right, let's read some of these. All right, I'm starring a bunch of them. All right, you got Silver Punk. I'll buy a couple packs of the minnows to try. All right, fair enough.
You missed Stinky River Tom. He threw a $5 bomb to you there.
Oh, heck yeah. I don't know how I missed that. Probably because there's 400 comments over here. It's hard to keep. Appreciate you. Did he ask a question? Usually he asks a question.
Yeah.
Big support. What was this question?
If you go to start, it should be up there too. In the start things, I think it saves all those.
There it is. I've heard some Northwood folks claim scent matters more when it's cold, mainly for e-socks. Any thoughts on this? Or is it an old wives' tale? Matters more when it's cold?
I mean, whenever it was cold, that was when all the old timers were breaking out the pork frog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
I always this is where my understanding has always been, right? It's cold, then it matters more. But then again, I don't have scientists and chemists and biologists, and I'm not running tests every single day. And so I think I still think it's like to be proven. Now, granted, if you guys didn't hear it and you're just chiming in, Dylan Nutt he won the Bassmaster World Championship using the minnow. And so that's a nice little testament. But also we're sitting in front of the panel of people who created it. And although I have no reason to believe that they're lying to us. Also, this hasn't been wildly tested by the average person at scale. And so I'm really interested to see. Say what?
That's what I think will be fun. Yeah, going out with a buddy and being like, okay, let's try to fish the same areas. You fish a Zoom trick worm with nothing on it. I fish this thing. Let's see if there's like a noticeable difference. Like we're fishing the same areas and it's like 20-1, something like that. Or is it like, oh, I caught one more? I don't know.
I think it will be. I mean, I don't think Berkley is going to put their name on something if it literally doesn't do what they say it's going to do, right? That would backfire fairly quickly. So I believe they've got something. I think they've got something unique. Like they had something unique with power bait. They've had something unique with gulp. They've had something with a max scent. They every time they launch something scientific or something new, it's usually a banger and it's usually a mainstay. And I have a feeling this is probably going to be the same thing. All right, let me see here. Dakota Strelo, $3.19. I'll buy him. $15 isn't too bad. We spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on a lot of things when it comes to fishing. Yeah. But I always feel like people are like, oh, $1 hook? Man, that's just too much. And that's my line is the hook. Or $10 for a pack of baits. I'm in. 15, I'm out. So now, granted, I know that's not everybody, but man, I don't know. This is going to be really interesting to see if that $15 price point. I believe tournament people are going to rip through them. I believe tournament, at the highest level is going to be like, hey, after 15 minutes, I'm just switching out to the next one. But that can get really expensive really fast. So we'll see what happens. Army Outdoors. Member for 33 months. My man, appreciate the support there. Great live, fellas. 2026 is going to be fun for us. 1,000%. I love Ralph. He actually rolled by my neck of the woods and was fishing a lake that I love fishing.
Of course he did.
Second largest bass lakes in Ohio. And I guess he didn't realize where I lived. That's because no one actually comes to Northeast Ohio. So I don't even know why he was up here. But
the guy's met or knows at least 87% of every fishing person on YouTube.
100%. I see him all the time. He's got a photo with somebody
knows
else
everybody.
That lives in a different state.
Went to Easter breakfast with Mike Iconell and his grandma, if that tells you anything. So
freaking love it. Not joshing 25 is like, I'm going to buy and resell to the idiots. I'll pay $100 for the pick.
That's what they're doing with Sakamata shads. That's the thing that we were talking to the Berkley guy about it is, because I straight up brought it up to him. I said, $15 a pack, like that's tough. Like, have you guys, gone through the cost, stuff? I mean, like that's my big concern. He's like, we have. He's like, when we went through the release of the flatworms with the max scent, there was people buying and reselling those for $40 a pack. There were for a long time you couldn't get a flatworm. Everybody was buying them up. Yeah. If you were smallie fishing, you needed the flatworms, so it's like they've done it. And I think it's going to be something for people that have a favorite. Is it going to be for the guy that walks through the tackle shop and is like, I'm looking for new lures? Absolutely not. But the guy that loves to drop shot or wacky rig, I think those worms are going to be money for those type of people. Or they're like, I just need one color. I'm going to buy 3 packs and I'm good for, a while, that type of thing. But
I mean, if they put this slime scent on a 5-inch stick worm,
like a general, yeah.
I mean, it's already stupid the hit rate, and so to add that to it, I'm surprised they didn't start with that, right?
Yeah, have a
start with one of the most widely used techniques in bass fishing by everybody. You'll be like, okay, we're just gonna come out of the gate with the stick worm. So here's a question, Wyatt and Debo, and everybody else listening in. All right, so they're gonna launch these 3 baits, and we'll see what happens. What do you wish the next 3 baits are?
Ribbon tail worm,
creature hog.
Why? Probably creature hog, of course.
The general.
There you go. There's the 3.
I want to see my 2. That's only why it's 1.
I've got to see a creature bait. 1,000%. Now, if they could put the slime coat on any other lure in the market that's not Berkley, what would you wish that went on? Like, what would you pair it together if you could do it? If they came out with like the gel and you could cure it on there and it did the whole dispersion thing.
Fluke. Zoom fluke.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Probably be my chatterbait trailers. Yeah.
Like a spunk shad. What do you run for your trailer?
The 6 cent Shindo.
Got the stink bug, pit boss over here.
Yep.
Berkley dinger.
Pit boss, great call. How did I not think of that one? Good call, Adam.
Not joshing, wants a crawl, Senko, and fluke. He just wants those to come out so he can buy them and resell them to all the idiots. He's going to pay $100. D-bomb, there it is. That's what I want. I can put this stuff on the D-bomb. My gosh. Rage bug from Fishing with Gramps.
Yep.
10-inch worm, general, chink trailer, creature hog, chicker crawl, pit boss. Man, a lot of different options in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other things. This is what it looks like. So honestly, it looks like the bottom of a robo worm. So if you're seeing the bottom of that, it kind of has that feel and texture to it, which is interesting. The package is interesting because it comes across as uber premium. So when I had this in my hand, I was like, okay, they definitely did a good job of, if you're going to charge $15 for something, it definitely looks, it's commensurate with how the packaging looks. I think they did a fantastic job there.
And I think, do you remember, was the clamshell thing inside, was it sealable?
Yeah, I think it was.
Because
I think it only makes sense, right? Because you're going to want to keep that dry.
I hope. I mean, yeah, because whoever said that about talking about moisture and stuff, if you have these sitting in your boat.
Sealable. Right here.
Okay, yeah, it was. Yeah, if you have these sitting in your boat, not in a like I almost think you almost have to Ziploc these just in case. That's a lot of wasted money if they get wet and activate and the timer goes off. Like,
yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, you can see it. They have it like there's a lip too, so you're gonna lock those down. And water. You'd have to submerge it, but one bad day on the water or these sitting at the bottom, you're gonna have a gooey
one
mess.
Flip kayak.
Rest
in peace, 2024.
But they look good. They look real good.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over here to the comment section. I actually have some questions. Let me see here. I think it's interesting that, and I knew this, but didn't realize how prevalent it is that like all these pros are using prototypes all of the time, right? They actually let something leak while they were like, we went outside of they had their tank there. They didn't have any fish in it, but they brought all the media out and they're like flipping it to show you how the minnows like coming through the water and how all the baits are coming through the water. And then I don't even remember who it is, but someone won second using this bait, using the prototype. And so it was Hank Cherry. Yep. He won something somewhere. I don't know what it was, but he was using this bait as well. So it's actually like almost close to 2 wins with these prototypes that haven't even hit the market yet. So it was just kind of wild to me.
He had a Max Scent grub out there on Gunnersville.
Yeah.
Might have.
Yeah, who knows?
Got hands on the special slime beforehand. That's why he won.
That could have been it. They actually mentioned it, and someone yelled for you weren't supposed to share that. And it's like, it makes me want to like remember it even more now, so I can share it with everybody.
I didn't hear it.
It's released now. You didn't hear it?
No, I heard him talk. I couldn't hear what he was saying, and somebody else next to me was talking about it because I was trying to get footage of the stuff in the tank.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to be talking about that." He's like, "Oh, well, my bad."
My bad. You just told 50 of top media companies around fishing. It's gonna get leaked. I love it. In fact,
I think Hank is with Berkley. Maybe it wasn't Hank. I thought he said, or maybe it was Hackney.
Might have been on TMZ next.
Them still?
Yeah, because Hank, I think like pours his own. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I don't know. All I know is that there was someone who had a top 3 finish using this bait as well. So I was like, all right, this is fascinating. It's starting to stack up. So we'll see what happens. If you have any additional questions, I think we answered hopefully a lot of those for you. But we answered the environmentally friendly or biodegradable. We answered the pricing. We answered how long it'll last. We answered can you reapply it? How much of the advantage is this really going to give over standard plastics? I think it's like to be determined, to be seen. Do you think this will be easy to find, or they're going to be constantly sold out? I think they're going to be constantly sold out for a while. I think they're going to be tough. I guess we don't know. We truly don't know the manufacturing like prowess that Berkley has, and so is it marketing to say that it's small batch? And what is small batch for Berkley versus small batch for
10 million SKUs is small batch for them.
It's all perspective, right? No, this has been interesting. So something that's been interesting to me is as I've been diving into Berkley has been Hank Cherry used a prototype grub.
No, I don't think it was the grub. It might not have been Hank Cherry if he's not with Berkley. One of the pros was like top 2 or 3 and almost won on it. One of these that was unreleased. I thought it was Hank Cherry, but I could certainly be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. So that's really all we know. Is there anything else that you can think of, Debo, that we didn't come across? That was a question that was answered. I mean, asked and answered that we didn't talk about.
No, I think we hit the big things. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting show. Now, when we get our hands on it, of course, we'll do our best to kind of bring our thoughts, but we will see. We'll see what happens.
I'm interested to see how they perform.
Yeah, 100%. And we're gonna get hopefully someone from Berkley who was actually on that. There was 4 guys up on the panel.
Yes.
And we asked him, and Debo, since we had a really great conversation as we were feeling really out of place with a lot of other people there.
He broke the ice for me.
He did.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when he came over and like sat with us and talked to us, because we had kind of talked before, so I think he kind of remembered me. But completely sat down, was down to earth. Really looking forward to having him on. Yeah, it'll be another joint live like this, me, Wendell, and him. I think we're looking at May probably. So
yeah, we'll see. But there's some red tape, and I think it was like, hey, since with my role, which is one of the designers at Berkley, like I have to get these type of things approved. I would imagine, and I noticed this when I went down the Hummingbird. Versus a lot of other companies that I've kind of done factory tours for, it got real corporate real fast. And when you get larger and larger, of course, they're trying to protect the brand and trying to make sure these launches are, things don't leak. Make sure they got to vet the people that they allow to go on shows, and so it might take a little time. But this be interesting. I mean, you're out. You're only how far? You're actually. It's across the state for you, but you're closer than I am to Berkley, correct?
Yeah, 3.5 hours. So I'm gonna try to get out there, set up a thing, and go tour it, and hopefully I can film. I don't know if I can or cannot film. I would hope so, or else it would be boring for y'all. But we'll see. Maybe.
Now it would be money if they did some type of sneak peek factory tour. Freaking, I'd fly out for that. That'd be amazing. But it's my understanding through some of the research that I've done today that they don't allow any filming unless I'm sure it's highly curated from their own team. So I could be wrong, but that's the information I found today. And so you're not going to be able. This might be the reason we haven't seen like a lot of these testing, fishing tanks and all these type of things outside of what they wanted you to know. But I've yet to see a content creator walk into Berkley and pull out a video like factory tour video.
You haven't had Debo out there yet. I mean,
I know, right? That'd be freaking awesome. You got Mike on the Water TV. He's like, hey, I'm like 25 minutes from Berkley, and I used to work there.
Oh, that's awesome.
What you used to do there, Mike? I'm curious.
Yeah, the only thing, I could have swore that changed when it's been a while back when they moved some of the stuff, but they have like an outlet there that I've actually, my buddy's been to and shopped for me. But they have an outlet like of Berkley stuff, like old discontinued rods. They'll like destroyed packaging or things that didn't, like you used to be able to get huge things a line where like the plastic got broke on it or something for dirt cheap. You get older rods. That's awesome.
They used to do that in Columbia, South Carolina. The Pure Fishing, like, because Pure Fishing's up there, and they used to have all of their, it was Fluger, Shakespeare, Ugly Stick, all that. You'd go into a warehouse. I mean, 200,000 square foot warehouse, and there's just trash cans of rods, just all like factory seconds and Fluger reels by the just truckload in there, and you can buy them all for like 80% off.
Yeah, we used to get 8 billion line roll spools of Trilene Mono XL red box. Yeah. Still love it to this day for dirt cheap.
Dude, we just need to go out there and just fish Spirit Lake with some of the Berkley guys. That's what we need to do.
I would love to.
I like
it. There's two parts of it. I forget which is which, east and west. One is like super deep and clear and scares the hell out of me. The other one's cool. You just need a boat or some sort to get out and around on it. And I never took my John boat up there because it had little sissy wheels. You can only go like 55 on, or else they'd explode. So,
we actually got an answer back from Mike on the Water TV. He said he worked in the plastics gulp and packaging, and yeah, it's called the Fisherman's Factory outlet that you guys are referring to. And he says you can still get huge spools of line still there.
Yeah, they would have some badass sales.
Yeah. Then you got Ben Wilkie over here commenting. He said, yeah, I think Tyler Berger, which is Bass Fishing HQ, also in Columbus, one of the other creators in Ohio, mentioned a big tour with a bunch of social media guys, but I never saw any of the footage. I haven't seen that either. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So if you know that is out there, I would love to actually watch it. Doesn't mean it's always a no. I know with Humminbird, I haven't seen another factory tour out there, but somehow was able to get my claws in there. And
that's awesome.
It took a while to get that approved, but we got it approved. That is up and going. It's at 30,000 views. So if you want to see in Eufaula, Alabama, the only fish finder still made here in America, you want to see that factory tour, is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Like from the PCB board all the way to packaging, like that's all done in Alabama, which is wild. Just wild. All right. You got some Dakota. I get some good Abu Garcia deals. It's Fishery Factory outlet. We need to make this happen. So whenever we get our contact Debo and when we have them on, we got a little sidebar in the green room. Like, hey, we gotta make something happen. One, I gotta get out. We haven't fished together ever. We've
drive out here. You got a place to stay.
Drive. Gosh.
Yeah. From where are you at? Ohio?
Freaking way.
Can't be that far of a
Northeast
drive.
Ohio. No, it's I think a lot longer than you think.
4 or 5 hours you'll be here.
4 or 5 hours. I can't get to Chicago in 4 to 5 hours. He's like, I got nothing. It was. I just drove the Guttersville and back. I'm tired of driving. I just want to do some more fishing. Well, folks, I think that answers all of our questions. I went through all the pre-questions I had. If you have a question, get it in right now. You got a few seconds to do so, but appreciate everyone chiming in. We got 160. I think we're like pushing 200 live on the show. So
over 200 for a little bit.
We're over 200. Freaking awesome. Debo, thanks for making this happen. And I look forward to probably in May to having someone who was part of the design of this on the show, and we can pepper him with a bunch of questions he probably won't be able to answer, but we're going to ask him anyways. So it'll be a good one. But real quick, Debo, what do you got going on the next week? You got podcasts coming up. You do them on Saturday nights. Who do you got coming up on the podcast?
Who do I have? Let's see. Well, I've got a couple secret guests. I'll have to get lined up from the Classic. I was honestly a bit disappointed with the Classic because I met some people. I started going through and I'm like, man, some of these people didn't really want to talk. They were kind of, I wouldn't say they were jerks like the first time I was there, but they were very not interested. And the Berkley guys really helped kind of put it into perspective for me, because it's like, listen, they're selling crap all day. They're telling this story to millions of people. Probably the last thing they want to do is have to do a video for somebody, even if they like, even if they know, I'm like, yeah, so that kind of helped. But after I got back, I kind of had like a mental meltdown and was like, oh man, I wasted my time. I was starting a new job. I was like, did I do the wrong thing? And I'm like, actually, I made quite a few really cool acquaintances. And, it's something that I take for granted, I may never get to do that again. So I did get some cool folks I think I'm going to have on the show. Otherwise, nothing crazy, man. Same stuff. Trying to do some new lures, some new gear. Excited to see what's going to come out of iCast.
Are you going to iCast this year?
Look at that. At the same time.
That was my
I don't
question.
know. You have to wait till they send the email of who's attending. Then you'll see.
I hope so.
I'm planning on it. Yeah, I'm planning on it.
Awesome. Have you gone before?
Never.
Okay. So what's interesting between the Classic, right? I think they touted 150,000 people at the Classic, which, trust me, there's a lot of people there. However, how they count that is they have people sitting at the door. I don't know if you saw them. They're just clicking, click, 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 click. But there's multiple places you can go out and in. because it's not just one giant convention center. And so if you walk out and go in, you get clicked again. If you walk out and go in, you get clicked again. And if you got to the food truck and walk back in, or you walk, you can be clicked like 15 times a day. So that number is definitely inflated. But nonetheless, let's say there's 120,000 people there. Still a lot of people, but very difficult to have conversations with. Or at least meaningful conversation. The beauty of ICAST is only like 15,000 people there. So it's just trade showish. It's not open to the public. And so you're able to have a whole lot more meaningful conversation. So I think that'll be a whole different experience. I know it was for me. In fact, that's the reason I didn't stay for day 2 of the classic. Because I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a ton of people, gonna be a ton of parking.
It's packed.
I'm a germaphobe, to be completely honest with you. Every time I go to some type of with a lot of people around, start shaking hands, I always get sick. And I can't afford to get sick as the breadwinner of my family now. And so I can't be out for a week. That's just that's brutal on a lot of different levels. So we'll see what happens. But Debo, appreciate you. Tomorrow night on the KFO show, I have the man who's caught over 2,300 bass. And we're not talking like, did he actually catch 2,300? Or is that just a number? No, like homie tracks every single one of them. We got Kayak Jack, Marty Hughes, a friend, big fan of what he's doing, and he's gonna be breaking down the Neko rig, something he has dialed in like a freaking machine. And so Wyatt will be on too. Wyatt, any last words? Any additional thoughts?
Yep. Nope. I'll say I want to see if Marty's gonna be using any of this stuff. So
heck yeah. Heck freaking yeah. So hopefully, trust me, when Debo and I get our hands on it, and Wyatt gets our hands on the new Berkley Lab series, we will let you know. All right, folks. Yep. You guys have a great rest of the night. I will see you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Debo will see you this Saturday at
7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There we go. 7:35.
That's what I set up for 7:35, so I make it.
Why 7:35?
Well, because anytime I set it for 7:30, I was always like 4 or 5 minutes late. So I just set it for 7:35 and plan on being on at 7:30, and I make it on time. So strategic.
Hey, plus playing mind games with yourself. I love it. All right, folks. Appreciate y'all for chiming in. I hope you learned something new, and we will see you on one of our podcasts in the future. You guys have a great night. We'll see you.